Hello class, today we are still learning to write proofs. Proofs are rather difficult and you have to do a lot of thinking. So if you don't get them right away, that is fine. So your essential question is, how do I write proofs? Your learning intention is, I am learning to write proofs. For your warm-up, draw the picture and solve. Points A, B, and C are collinear. Point B is between A and C. Find the length indicated. So it gives you the expressions and it tells you to find X and all the missing pieces. So pause the video, do the two warm-up. You've got two warm-up questions here. One has a picture, one you ought to draw the picture, and then solve. So pause the video now. Well, I hope you tried. So if you're looking at the first one, you've got a line segment, and it says you've got A, B, and C, which are collinear, but B is between A and C. We know that the whole thing is 3x plus 3. We know that AB is negative 1 plus 2x, and BC is 11. So we know that the two pieces make up the whole, so we can add them together to get the whole length. Negative 1 plus 2x plus 11 is equal to 3x plus 3. Step 1, set your equation up. Step 2, combine like terms. Negative 1 plus 11 is 10. 2x plus 10 is equal to 3x plus 3. Now we're ready to solve. Both sides have been simplified. Start by subtracting 2x from both sides. 10 is equal to x plus 3. Last step is to subtract 3 from both sides. And 7 is equal to x. Okay, we've got two more things to find. We need to find the length of AB and we need to find the length of AC as a number. We've got the expressions, but now we want it as a number. We know what 7 is, or what x is. X is 7. So if I want to find AB, negative 1 plus 2x is equal to negative 1 plus 2 times 7, because that's what x is, negative 1 plus 14, which gives me 13. So this is 13. Now, I don't need to use that expression. I can simply add together. So the length of AC is equal to 13 plus 11, which is 24. And we're done. So if you did not understand, back the video up and watch it again. If you didn't try it on your own, shame on you. If you did try it on your own and you're still struggling, come to me and we'll talk about it. Okay, so pause the video if you've not done the next one and do the next one on your own if you can. Okay, the measure of GFN. GFN, this is here. This is 4x plus 10. The measure of NFE is 14x plus 3. But I also know that the whole thing is 157 degrees. So when you add them together, the two pieces make the whole. So I know that they have to be equal to 157 degrees. 14x plus 3 plus 4x plus 10 is equal to 157 degrees. Combine your like terms. 14 plus 4, 14x plus 4x is 18x. 3 plus 10 is 13, is equal to 157 degrees. We're ready to solve for x. Subtract 13 from both sides. 18x is equal to 144 degrees. Okay, now, if you have a calculator, I would encourage you to use a calculator because it will make it quicker. 140, whoops, clear it out there. 144 divided by 18. And I get 8. So I know that x is equal to 8. Now I've still got these two pieces to find. The first one I have to use one of the two expressions for, and it doesn't matter which one I find first. This one has smaller numbers, so it's 4x plus 10, but x is 8, so it's 4 times 8 plus 10. 4 times 8 is 32 plus 10, which gives me 42 degrees. Okay, for the last one, there's two different ways you can do it. The quickest, easiest way is to take the 157 and minus 42. If you don't want to do that, you use the expression. I'm going to take the quicker way. So I'm going to take 157 minus 42 degrees, and that will give me 115 degrees. So, the measure of angle GFN is equal to 42 degrees. The measure of angle NFE is equal to 115 degrees. And we are done. Okay, now let's start on our proofs. Proofs are our logical statements, logical arguments. So, write down the first statement. The first statement will be what you're given because we're told it's what we're given. Segment AD is the bisector of angle BAC. We want to prove that BAD is congruent to BAC or CAD. What does a bisector mean? When I bisect something, what does it mean? Bisect means it cuts it into two equal parts. So that means that angle BAD is congruent to angle DAC or CAD by your definition. Okay, how do we use this to say that their measures are equal? This is your definition of bisector. I'm going from here, they're congruent. If they're congruent, what do I know? That their angle measures are equal. So this is your definition of congruent. Okay, tell my people that I am done. This time I'm going to use QED. We haven't used that one for a while. Okay, for our second one, it says that ray FD bisects angle EFC. Ray FC bisects angle DFB. So here we are, we're given that statement. How do we use it? Well, the first thing you do is write it into your statement. So ray FD bisects angle EFC, and your ray FC bisects angle DFB. Okay, what does bisect mean again? Well, it means that it cuts it into equal pieces. So as I'm looking at this, bisects means two equal pieces. I can prove that I've got two sets of angles that are congruent because that's what bisect means. And that's what I'll use next. I'll put angle EFD is congruent to angle DFC. Okay, any questions on that one? That's not a very good F, is it? Okay, what about the other angle? This is FC and it bisects here. So angle DFC is congruent to angle CFB. And that is by your definition of bisects. Okay, what comes next? Well, what's the definition of congruent? It means that their angles are the same. So the measure, this time we're going to the next step, the measure of angle EFD has to be equal to the measure of angle DFC. And the measure of angle DFC has got to be equal to the measure of angle CFB. That's your definition of congruent. Nothing new. Okay, the next one is transitive property, and I don't think we've talked about it a lot, but you might also call it substitution. You can substitute. So, what can I substitute? Well, this is equal to this angle. I see the angle here. That means if this is equal to this angle and this angle is equal to this, then the first and the last angles must be equal also. That's how it transfers. This is equal to this. This is equal to this. It transfers that equalness. So, the measure of angle DFC is equal to the measure of angle CFB. Okay, how do I go from the angles the angle measures are equal to their congruent? That is by definition. Of congruent. So, as you're looking at this, you start with what you're given. You think about, what does it mean? Bisect means that I've got congruent angles now. Congruent angles, what does it mean? That means that their measures are equal. If two things are equal to a third thing, then they've got to be equal to each other. That's your transitive. You've got the measure of your angles. What we want to find is they're congruent, and that is your definition. So make sure as you're going through these, you look at each step along the way, and you say, okay, what does that mean and how do I use it? So this, you'll know you're successful when you can write proofs. So this is writing proofs.